Welcome to another episode of Measured. Today we will be talking about why most websites are built backwards. It's kind of the whole topic of the episode. We will match the structure to the search, how websites can compound value over time, building a website that can grow. We'll have our customer question and end with that featured project. So we're going to jump right into why most websites are built backwards. If your website looks good but does not generate business, you do not have a website strategy, you have a design project. And as we love design, we also love strategy. So most business owners are thinking about how websites starts with colors, layouts, photos, and fonts. But the better thing that they should be asking is, what is a website supposed to do? Should it generate leads? Should it rank for services? Should it build trust? Should it make the next step obvious? Until that's clear, the design does not matter. And so that whole little thing that we had wrote up there that I just read is all about taking the design almost last. And most people wanted to start with the design first. And that is kind of where we talk about the whole backwards component. We have a client that is coming to us. We just had a meeting this last week, and they are looking to redesign their website. And that, my favorite, customers that want to keep working with you, absolute best feeling. But they they're really just looking for that new look. And it's not thinking all the way through on, well, what's currently working for you? Like, do you have everything that you need? Is all the content there? This site is 10 years old. So, not much has probably changed since it initially launched, and their business has changed. But it's kind of just taking a look back and figuring out why you have things the way it was, and is it correct, and what needs to change. And for that, we want to take and put that strategy first. Not putting your design first, but that strategy. And I would say that most customers that if they don't work with us on like a monthly marketing, that they may have their own, depending on the size of the company, they may have their own internal marketing, and their individuals may fully understand their traffic that they have or what they're ranking on, any of those statistics that they have. But any website owner that does not have that knowledge or the team to do that, and we're not doing that for them, usually can't answer really a lot of those questions. And so for us, we want to help you answer those questions. We want to make sure that when we go back to rebuild your site, that you are not just focused on how it looks and feels, which in the end, it's 110% important. But it's understanding upfront what needs to happen. So with this customer meeting, it was pretty clear that they were missing a lot of pages, a lot of opportunity for content. And when I showed them what they're currently ranking on, they were a little bit just kind of shocked, to say the least. But and I say this all the time to our customers or potential customers, like, if you don't have any content on your site that talks about what you do, specifically like a couple of these services that they don't have listed, like, you're not going to be found for them. Like, Google just doesn't magically know that inside your business you offer this, 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 and this, but you only listed 2 of them and not all 6 of them. Like, you're going to have a problem, and that is kind of an easy way to find. So just laying out for them their organic ranking and letting them see they had a strong brand presence. So if you were searching their name, you were going to find them. But that was about it. And if you want to compete and you want to show up, then what? And so it was such a fun meeting. And I don't know if they found it as fun as I did, but to me, I love going in and figuring out, like, here is the structure that I think you should have. Here is like that path that I think you should have. But then it takes you to have that time to look at it and really think about, like, how should we build this out? And then there are they have 2 really main services then that kind of get broken out. And then one of the two main it's there on their current site, but it's just kind of completely overlooked. And they knew that coming into the meeting. So that part was great. And then it was just kind of taking and figuring out from there, like, how do we make this stronger? How do we become more of that authority figure in our area for that service? And all of this kind of comes back to, we haven't even talked about what it's going to look like yet. And that's really the whole point for this, is just making sure that you can understand that when you are going to do a new site, take the time, you don't have to work with an agency. Like, we are an agency that loves working with business owners to help them, just get that look and feel, because I think a beautiful looking website is wonderful, but making sure that it's going to do what you need it to do. And at the moment, when you sit down with us, if you're not 100% sure what you need it to do, that's fine. But hopefully by the end of our meeting, we can have those conversations where you can at least start thinking, why are we going to do it a certain way? How are we going to make this work? And what do we want them to do when they arrive? Having that clear path. And it is where that site structure is just so important. And when I say site structure, obviously you have your overall website structure. So when you're building your site out, whether you're building yourself or you're hiring an agency, there's a proper way to build websites. So I'm not even fully talking about just that in general. I'm more talking about like your sitemap, your overall navigation, having those clear paths of just structuring your data out enough that most people are going to understand. And I always encourage our clients to look at competitors. How are they doing it? They may have already spent so much time researching the proper way, or just a way in general that customers are going to understand a flow of their website. I'm not saying just to match it, but understand that, like, if you go look at like 5 customer sites or competitor sites and everyone has it pretty close to the same way, there's probably a reason. And if people are getting used to it now, I'm not saying that is the right thing just to get complacent with other people are doing, but it's an easy way for you to just also think like, oh, well, they have a page for that. Like, should we have that? Do we have that? Does it make sense? Do you name it that? We can help you figure out how people are searching for those keywords to be found. So what I mean by that is, if you phrase it a certain way, so trying to think of a good example here. I'm not getting one. So if you phrase your service a certain way, but everyone is searching it this other way, well, we may need to word it a little bit different on your site so people are going to find you even though it's the exact same service. It's really what I was trying to say. I don't have an example that's come to my head, unfortunately, at the moment, but understanding how people search can greatly help build out that site structure for you as well, and making sure you have those right services. And I'm just going to show you an example for ourselves. And if you're listening, you're not going to be able to see the screen, but I just pulled up our current site, which is 154i.com. And this is all kind of coming back to the messaging side of it, and not so much of the full-on design, but making sure that you have that clear message. So I'm showing you a site we did when we first launched. I put it together as fast as I could. I was trying to get our agency back off the ground, and I built a site, and I haven't really touched it since. And it goes against about everything I believe in, everything that I preach. I just sit here and tell our customers all the time, or on this podcast, what you should be doing for your clear messaging, anything above the fold. So what you're seeing on the screen, or from when your site loads, like on your screen, is what is above the fold. And we are I shouldn't say gonna start. I've always believed in what we had said, but we are in the process of redoing our own site. And all of this kind of comes back to like the design aspect of it, where I want you to have a gorgeous looking site, but is the design as important as your messaging? Absolutely not. And so like I said, up on the screen, I have what our current site is above the fold. It says fuel your growth, turn clicks into customers, which turn clicks into customers is a button. Does that really tell you anything that we do? Our menu is hidden under a hamburger menu, which just means it has those 3 lines, and it says menu, and you can click on it and it would drop down. And we do have a button that says get a quote, but let's be real. Fuel your growth, turn clicks into customers. Now, turn clicks into customers can obviously lead into some marketing things for that. So we have been working on really just more focusing on messaging and not so much of the design. Yes, I will have great aspects of our new site that look great, and there'll be interactive things that you will feel like you are on an agency's website, but I am putting the whole agency vibe feel to the side. I would rather have you come and just understand exactly what we do immediately. And that is what I push all of our customers to do. And so now, if you're watching, you're looking at we're in the process of getting this all completed up. So it's just in development at the moment. But this is what the new homepage of 154i will look like. It says web design and SEO that drives revenue. Web design and SEO are the 2 main things that we do here at 154i. Yes, we have paid media. I do like helping people with their Google ads and even their meta ads. But web design and SEO are the top 2 things that we do, and that is just what I decided we should push. And then our big headline says, be found everywhere customers search. Because when people come to us, that is all that they care about, is how can I get found? How can we drive more growth? How can we get more customers to our site? So be found everywhere customers search. So we went from fuel your growth to be found everywhere customers search. Now, I did put a sentence below it. Whether people read it or not, that'll be kind of up to them. It says 154i builds fast, conversion-focused websites and SEO systems that turn search visibility into qualified leads and measurable growth. So that we just have that little bit of a clarifying sentence to go with that. Our call to action is a free website audit. But what you need to realize is right underneath that, I say no instant, sorry, I can't read that well. No instant report. We review every site and reach out to discuss high impact growth opportunities. So right up front, you can get a free website audit from us, but just know that it's not coming back immediately, that we will take the time to review it and reach out and schedule that meeting with you to kind of have a deeper conversation. Yeah, there are platforms out there. There's plugins that I could put in on our site that would instantly like crawl your site and throw some numbers at you. But we really believe in doing the hard work. And if we are going to build a relationship with whoever is filling this out, like we want to talk to you. And so that website audit can just be an audit in general. So how your website looks out to the world. Most of the time they're like based with SEO for that. And then right below that, they are just still, because this is just an image, we have customer logos that'll rotate through. And that's just to help give that trust and authority. So above the fold, we want to just be really clear on who we are, what we do, and one simple call to action. We have that trust factor with the rotating or with the logos for that people can realize that obviously we do work with many different people and they'll rotate through and just show all different. We don't just do one area of expertise when it comes to businesses. We help them all across the board in all different areas, whether it's in some local, and then obviously most of it's not just local. And then the other big thing, as I showed you in our previous one, we had the menu all hidden. So even if you were trying to learn a little bit more about what we do, you still had to click. And the biggest thing I wanted for this redesign is that you didn't really have to click to figure out what we do or what we offer. So, and we restructured our navigation as well. And we were just kind of talking about that just with your site structure. And so we decided to go with web, SEO, paid media, growth, work, insights, about, and contact. The only one that is not truly a clear, and it's because it's going to, I'll be honest, it's going to be a little bit of a catch-all, is growth. We'll have our organic social under there. We've been helping people with that, and it's an area we look to keep growing with. But right now, most people come to us either for paid or SEO or just web in general. And then our email marketing will fall under growth as well. And then our brand. We do logo design, print design, whether you need your business cards, brochures, envelopes, all of that. Not that it's not important for us, and we love doing it. It's just not one of those main things that we do. So you'll still be able to find it if someone's looking for it on our site. It's still going to be there. But web, SEO, and paid media are all out on their own because those are those driving factors for 154i. And my big takeaway that I want you to take, the takeaway I want you to take from this is that is a white screen. There's barely any design to it. Obviously, there'll be interaction components. And when we launch this, I will show you everything through. But it's just kind of understanding that even for us, who is a creative marketing agency, that message is way more important than any design that I could have thrown at you. And I just want people to realize that although I'm sitting here telling you to care about your messaging before you care about the design, we are doing that. So don't be afraid to do that yourself. Can you have a gorgeous looking site with a strong messaging? 110%. We help people with that all the time. Just understand the importance of that message is when it comes to your website, that clear path, your site structure, taking the time to think of that before you just decide to dive right into a design. And with that, we have talked a lot about the homepage. And that is usually when you work with 154i and we are redoing your site, we truly do only mock up your homepage, because I always tell our customers, you don't need to pay us to spend so much time in Photoshop and Illustrator to keep mocking everything up for that. So we do mock up your homepage. We get your approval. Everything goes through. We have a structure all pre-built through. So you always know the pages that we're going to be putting out, kind of the order, the fashion of all of that. Some customers, it makes just a lot of sense because of how their services are already pre-structured. Some, we help them restructure it to a format that we feel that is going to perform the best. And some, it's just a mixture of both. So a lot of people don't have a large opinion on that until customers can't find what they're looking for, and then they definitely have an opinion on it. But it's just taking that time and doing that. But I will say, spending time on your interior services pages are just as important as that homepage. So realizing that, yes, we're going to have a great homepage that has a great message to get them to go. We always talk about that 3 to 10 seconds that you have to capture them to go to that next page. Well, on that next page, what are they getting to? Now, if they're getting to nothing, then it didn't matter that you captured them to stay on your site and to go to another page. So those services that you're wanting to rank on are just as important. They need to look just as good as that homepage. That messaging needs to be just as clear. That call to action, what they can do, all of that matters moving forward in. Are there some pages you probably don't have to think as hard about? Yes. I will say, like your About Us page. Is it important? You bet. Because that gives the backing. People, might want to find out the story of your company. If you're sharing who's working there, they're probably wanting to look at your team, learn more about you. They might want to see if you're involved in your community, what kind of community involvement do you have? So your About Us can be a large trust building piece. And I'm not saying that it's not important, but when you are trying to rank out for certain services that you offer, taking the time to have good interior pages is extremely important. And so I am going to pull up here. Again, if you are just listening to our podcast, you're not going to be able to see it. But I pulled up Midwest companies, and we've looked at their site a couple different times, but they are someone who has just truly invested in not only their homepage, but all of their service pages. All the interior pages mattered to them just as much as their homepage. And that to me is fantastic. We love working with people that just care that much about their site. And I haven't even said this part, and I meant to say it earlier. You are investing in a new site. Yes, you can go do your own and all that. But I'm saying if you are hiring an agency to build you out a new website, you are investing, which you are thinking of just how it's going to look and feel. But that investment should come with your structure and that messaging all the way through. And push that agency that you're working with to do that, because you are already investing in that site, and take that investment and make the absolute most out of it. So this is an inside page. It's for Sweaty Goat Saunas. So we've talked about Midwest companies again many different times, but so they have Midwest Spas and more. And then inside that, you can go into their Sweaty Goat Saunas. There's a product that they sell. So right off the bat, the two most important things that they get asked the most is how much they cost and the health benefits. So right off the bat, they just put two buttons up top that if you wanted just to know what the pricing was or the health benefits, you could click. If I click on them, it's just going to scroll me to that section. So I'm not going to click on one. I'm just going to scroll through. They have 3 different saunas that they offer. Again, you can see the price. And then obviously you got to add your tax if you're looking for that. And it tells you right there that that includes the sauna plus install and delivery within 2 hours of Spirit Lake, which is where they're located. So you know right off the bat that you have the price, that it includes install and delivery. How awesome is that? You keep going, you can request a little bit more information. They have, oops, I zoomed in a little bit. Taken the time for us, I mean, and part of it's them and us. They took the time to care about the content. And when you work with us, we take the time to make sure that we deliver in a format that is very pleasing on the eyes. So don't be afraid to have a lot of information, because if you format that information in a factor that is just very appealing, this is where the design becomes so important. When you can just showcase your information off in a format that is easy to read, easy to catch, you can grab some bigger of those headlines: health benefits, cardiovascular support, muscle recovery and pain relief, relaxation and better sleep. There's little paragraphs of information below that, but if you didn't read them, you don't need to. So it's just things like that. Knowing when to make things bigger, bolder, and then having that supporting content. That supporting content is great to have, especially when you are trying to get ranked with all of your additional information, but it doesn't have to be the main component. They have their FAQs, how to choose the right model, ready for a healthier routine. So this is just kind of what I mean, is that this isn't their homepage. These are their inside pages, and they're just as important as that homepage is. And knowing that when you are going through your website rebuild, that you can have just as many, that strategy you use for that homepage, for those messaging, should just be as important as you keep going into your services pages. So don't ever just settle. A lot of times you might come across this great looking homepage, and then you click on the inside pages and it's just paragraphs of text on and on and on, and they may have a couple photos at the bottom. Don't settle for that. Push yourself or push your agency that you're working for to have all the content that you need, have that clear message, but then incorporating that design all the way through, and that will just help you win in the end. So when you go to build your new site, use that strategy to define the audience, structure your support for search and navigation, use content to answer those questions, and then worry about the design to make that experience clear and credible. Spend the time doing those things before you get to the design, and then you will have a site that was worth whatever value that you just put into it, and it will compound over time because you took all the time up front to make sure that you had those clear messaging, that you had that content, that you had that structure, and then you have a design to back it all up. So we're going to move on into our customer question of the day. There we go. How long does SEO actually take before you start seeing results? I get that. This is about asked every single time we have a new customer coming to us inquiring about SEO. So I usually say that you have about three months for sure, but 3 to 6 months before you can start seeing some improved rankings. You may see more impressions in your Google search or your organic traffic kind of increase, but your bigger wins come at between like that 6 or to 12 month where you actually really start seeing things happen, that your content really is being crawled. It's understanding the authority of the site starts to change. So SEO is not instant. It does not happen overnight. It can become an investment, but it is all about consistency. Another big question that comes with this is if I stop doing it, what happens? You're not going to lose everything that you had, but when I say it comes with consistency, it's because you're consistently updating, you're consistently doing the things to grow your authority. And when you stop working at growing your authority, someone else is going to come in who is doing that and then take over those positions. So it is kind of that component of whether you're having someone help you or not, you still have to put in the work. It is like in life in general. If you're not really doing anything, you're probably not winning. So put in the extra work. Keep showing up. I mean, SEO is just about doing things right. Do all the things you need to do, and you will keep earning that authority. So just kind of back to the question, I got off on a tangent there. You won't really start seeing anything until about that 3 to 6 month period, and just don't give up. Your website's there for a reason. You invested in your site. SEO is just a great way for people to organically find you. And I just fully believe in SEO and that everyone truly should be investing in it. I don't even mean with me. I mean, we'd love to help you, but like just taking the time, building your site up, it is all worth it in the end. And we are going to move into our featured project today. It is HitchDoc. They're out of Jackson, Minnesota. They do contract manufacturing and manufactured products. Everything here is made in the USA. And I chose them today because they are a business that truly utilizes their website. They care about their messaging. They care about all of their services that they offer in inside pages. I'm just going to click on this would be one of their manufactured products that they do. And I'm just going to click on Travis Seed Cart. And their site, they just took a lot of time. There's a lot of content on this site, but they took a lot of time to make sure that they had different pathways for you to find the information, but not giving you it all at once. And so you have a little navigation across the top, whether you're looking at their different products within Travis Seed Cart. So I just clicked on their box carts, but it has their models and specs, standard features. But you can kind of go back into about anything. They have different brochures. You can view photos and videos, request more information. You can see their models at a glance. So it was a well thought out content piece. It was, like I said, it is quite a larger project, but it fit well on kind of what we talked about today, where you can have a design that fits perfectly for your business, matches your brand, has everything that it needs to have, but you can also have that clear messaging so that that growth keeps compounding over time. And we just thought that HitchDoc was that perfect project to show you. Again, that was HitchDoc.com. That's HitchDoc.com for that. We appreciate you joining us today. Please like, comment, and subscribe on whatever platform you are listening in on, and we'll catch you next time.